We're here on the top of Mount Tolmie, overlooking our beautiful city of Victoria, BC, the traditional land of the Algonquin-speaking people, including the Esquimalt, Songhees, and Wisanic nations, where we live, learn, and raise our families. They say it takes a village, so let's meet them. Families of all shapes, sizes, and stories. Are you ready? Let's go.
I need my sass back.
If you're doing it all from meltdown to task and still fighting to keep up that sass, friend, I've got you. Hey, I'm Deb, host of Sass and Small Talk, the mental load of parenthood, Season 2. As a mom of 2 smallies, navigating life with a neurodivergent family and my own neurospicy brain, caregiving for aging parents, and trying to hold it all together with grace, I know what it means to carry the mental, emotional, and invisible load of parenting. But here's the thing, we weren't meant to do this alone. This season, we're exploring the many faces of parenthood, from single parents to co-parents, blended families to chosen families, and everything in between, right here in our beautiful city of Victoria, BC, and beyond. They're sharing real stories of overwhelm, grief, imposter syndrome, breaking generational cycles with the resilience it takes to keep showing up. Real parents, real families, real stories, because it takes a village to raise a child and a community to raise their parent. Darling,
I need my sass back.
Do I look like I'm flying? No.
Welcome to Sass and Small Talk, the mental load of parenthood. I'm your host, Deb Bellino, and I'm ready to unpack the reality behind modern motherhood, raising a family while building a creative business. Today's guest is Nina Sinclair, a multi-award-winning, internationally published photographer, educator, and visionary. From high fashion to branding to capturing intimate milestone moments, her lens finds the beauty in connection, emotion, and the human experience. Nina has built a thriving business while nurturing her family, showing us how creativity and motherhood can coexist. She's known for creating magical experiences in her studio and out in nature where her love for photography first bloomed, capturing families and stories against the breathtaking landscapes of British Columbia. Her story has come full circle, from taping Vogue covers to her teenage bedroom walls to now being featured in British Vogue under her rebrand of Ocean and Earth Photography. As a loving mother and partner, a loyal friend, a philanthropist, and a creative powerhouse, Nina brings the same nurturing heart she pours into her work back into her home. She runs her studio with creativity, intention, and a deep reverence for nature, and she parents with that same spirit. Today, she steps out from behind the lens to share her personal journey, offering us a glimpse beyond the snapshot, into the mental load, the invisible weight, and the bold steps it takes to run both a family and a business, and the joy and love that fuel it all. This is Nina.
Oh my gosh.
Welcome.
Talk about an intro. Wow.
This is all you, my friend. Holy cow. As I read this, I'm thinking, is this a real person in front of me? You are just...
You made me sound so nice.
You are so nice. She is exactly the real deal, this woman. I am so humble. I can't believe you don't realize the just amazing talent that you are. I mean, I know you have to know, but it's just incredible
You're the sweetest soul.
I'm just thrilled to have you here. And I gotta say, it was really hard to get in touch with one another, and I'm so glad we finally...
Well, thank you for having me.
Oh my goodness.
I'm honored to be here.
Well, thank you for being here. Now, you likely have about 300 emails that's waiting for you at home. Most of them for me.
Thank God for Sarah.
Thank goodness for Sarah. Thank goodness to Sarah. So we should just get started and get to know this wonderful woman. I like to start this. I always start with my favorite question.
Okay.
Who sits at your table?
Oh, that's a good question. I feel like there's 2 parts to that question, because there's the business side and then there's the motherhood village side. And when it comes to the business side, it's Sarah, as I mentioned before. She's my saving grace. She is my type A to my type B personality.
Ah, perfect.
She keeps everything going, and she keeps all my spreadsheets and all the emails, and She's amazing. And then we have a social media girl, Taylor, and then we've got a good team of second shooters, and they are like my table when it comes to the business.
Oh, I love that. I love that you place them at your table. That's how important their role is. It's beyond just, a paycheck or a role. It's essential to your life, right?
Yeah, well, any great business, has everybody who really shines in their zone of genius. And I realized a long time ago that I can't do it all. And trying to do it all, I'm just spreading myself too thin, and then I can't focus on what I love, which is the art of it, right?
The art of it.
Yeah.
And now we're going to talk about that personal table.
Yes. Yeah.
Who's there?
Oh
Who's
my
in your
gosh.
table?
So I've got some incredible friends who show up for me and the girls. My best friend Beck, she's my daughter's godmom, and she's amazing. And then I've got a couple really good friends, Rowena and Nikki, and a few good gals. You got to chat with Rose, so you got to see how amazing she is.
You're gonna meet
Yeah.
Rose. We're very excited.
She's awesome.
Oh, I love that.
And then my hubby, who we both are very lucky to work jobs that we love, so we kind of balance that together. He and and then his mom-in-law, and my mom's far, but I know that she wishes she could be here a little bit more, but when she can, she's here too.
So you've got the mama figure there as well, grandma there, and then you have the two girls.
Yeah.
So you have a full table.
I do. I'm very
and
lucky.
I love that you know that you can lean on the aunties, the besties.
Yes.
And
yeah.
you make it personal. You make it intimate.
Aww.
It's really important.
We have each other's backs for sure.
I love that.
Yeah, community. And it takes a village to raise a kid. And
it really does.
I used to try to do it all, and you can't be everything all at the same time. And they need those pillars of incredible women.
100%. And I love it. You've always been I've been following you. Okay, just side note. I just met this amazing woman for the first time in person. We've been interacting online, and we kind of have the same kind of circle. We're kind of seeing some people that we know, especially Rowena, and
oh my gosh, I was
that was
you guys
coincidence.
met.
That was a coincidence.
Oh, she's just a gem.
Yeah, that was a coincidence. When I found out you were friends, of course, that was on a post. I'm like, what? Do you know Nina? This is amazing.
I saw her at school, and she's like, guess who I met?
Oh, I love it. So I love how it just we can see. This is what I love about Victoria.
Yeah,
is that it's small and it's big. We get the big city vibe, but we also have this, this cozy corner of like moms just like loving on each other. And what I love about you is when I see. Well, so I just met you today in person, and when I hugged you, I actually said these words. It's crazy. I said, "You feel like home."
Aww.
Where'd that come from? I mean,
you
smell good. You feel it's like a nice cozy little thing. I'm like, I just had this little cozy part in your neck.
Aww.
And it's so nice to be able to, because you're such you just empower women in general. Considering where you're at in your life, you empower other women, you champion other women. I'm very blessed and honored to have you here. So thank you.
Well, so do you. You're definitely the same. Every time I see you like cheering people on, you do it with your whole heart. So,
thank you. Well, I have a lot to learn from all of you. I really do. And I have always been, we're calling the show How to Love on Each Other, because I'm just feeling the love here. I just think that it's really important. I think the biggest part of motherhood balance, but mostly being able to live this fulfilling life of creativity that you chose. And we're going to dig into that, because this is crazy what you have done. That intro was no joke. I mean, I had to cut it down.
Well,
that was cut down because you have so much going on, but you could never have done that without the tools and the people, the community, the people you trust.
Absolutely.
So
and when I did try to do it all, it was just a fast pass to burnout. It just
So you have experienced burnout.
Oh, absolutely, many times. Yeah.
Should have thrown you in my first season. Why didn't I do? I meant to. I actually originally was going to have you.
But this was perfect. I feel like this was meant to be on this one.
Yeah, I think so too. And plus, you match my set.
Aw.
So this is really important. We got to get you on here. All right, we're getting off topic because guess what? Newsflash, we're both ADHD. Can I just say this?
A little spicy, absolutely.
A little spicy going on here. So that's also an element to consider. So creative, spicy brain, and you are trying to balance it all. But I can absolutely tell because based on the inspiration behind, like if you go to her website, you really go back to the roots of why you do what you do, and you talk about your beautiful family, your girls, and your love for nature. There's such a specific inspiration that you have that helped you build your business. So it's really important for you to marry the two.
Yeah. My original name was named after my mom and my grandma because they raised me. So, yeah.
Lily Ann Photography.
Yeah.
And then we went into the fact that you love the ocean, you love the earth.
Yeah. The
love that.
second name was I loved Lillian Photography. Like, it's very special to my heart. And
Yeah.
I started it when I was 18. And obviously, like, my mom and my grandma are like so special to me. And like I said, they raised me, so it was like to honor them. But then I had 2 daughters, and I wanted something that just like encompassed
all of it.
Everybody, like all the women in my life, small and big, that were like really, really important to me. And then it also kind of had just like a touch of my heart in there too. So
I love that.
yeah.
And that's why I could tell you love what you do.
Aww.
You really do. And I
I'm
just,
lucky.
so glad. But it's not easy.
No,
There's no way.
it's not.
There's no way. We could barely get ourselves, connected.
Yeah.
I mean,
The schedule is a crazy one for
yeah,
sure.
for both of us. And
Yeah,
so there has to
absolutely.
be a way that you handle all of this, and that's what we're going to dig into.
Mhm.
But let's start off with how you mother and parent at home. Like, do you have kind of a certain way that you have chosen to parent, like with the tools that you're given, with the
Yeah.
time that you're given? Like, how do you approach parenthood?
That's a hard one to sum up, but I think
Mm.
if I were to like try to pick a word, I would say connected
Okay,
would be the best way that I could like really sum it up.
Yeah. Connected parenting, is that
Yeah, like
yeah.
just for us, the most important thing is like emotional connection and just space to be them. Like, we actually had the gift of discovering that we were neurospicy through my daughter.
Okay, so her first.
Yeah. And through her discovering her neurodivergence, we actually got to discover that we were also spicy too. So at 32, and after that, it really allowed us to create a home that was very like sensory friendly
I love
and
that.
just like allowed us to give ourselves grace and like let go of like the masking and for her, but also for us. So it just really kind of like, you're constantly learning as a parent, right? Like it never ends, and becoming a mom has created more growth in me than anything ever could. But they help you discover yourself too on another level, and I think
There are teachers, aren't they?
yeah, oh my gosh, yeah, and so I think kind of the basis of that really helped kind of center everything around like creating a home that was very like nervous system
Friendly.
and peaceful, like
Yeah. That's a new concept for me. The idea of calming your nervous system. I never really understood that until
yeah.
I experienced like the ultimate burnout.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not something that can just like be fixed. It's something that has
No.
to be nurtured over time, and finding the right
Absolutely.
tools that work for your body, so you find that
Yeah.
centeredness. So you
Yeah.
found that like the way to
Yeah,
protect
I
your
mean
peace?
it's constant. It's a constant, right? But
Evolving.
I would say for us though, like our home is very happy and peaceful, and just like it feels like a space where the kids and us can just kind of like unravel in the best way.
Love
So
that.
yeah,
So if you were to take a snapshot of what your family life is, like why am I envisioning? And it kind of works with your aesthetic too. It totally works here. I'm picturing like the sunset in the foreground.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
And then the kid or the background. Oh well, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
whichever
I'm trying. I'm
way
trying
it
to
goes.
sound cool. Okay? I gotta impress Nina Sinclair. Come on. But you're like, I could picture like the kids like running towards you,
Aww.
not away from you.
Oh my gosh.
And
I love that.
I haven't seen them because you protect them quite well, and I love that.
Yeah, we try to keep them offline.
But I have a feeling we'll be best. It's gonna be me. I'm gonna be joining that table.
You're
That's my
coming over
joint.
for coffee. That's
I
for
gotta
sure.
because I feel like there's a similarity with your girls. I just feel like I'm envisioning that, and then this is the artist in me. I have to actually picture things.
I love that.
and
visual.
so that like the understanding that this is how our brains work, this is how we feel peace, this is how we can connect, and you literally disconnect from the world when you do this. I'm just imagining that, right?
Yeah, I definitely
noisy.
try. I mean, it's kind of hard, the balance between business and stuff, like especially in this day and age, half of our business is on our phone, so it's hard to like kind of put it down and be present.
Yes.
But I do try to make a conscious effort when I can, and I mean, our kids are pretty cool, so like we like to hang out with them.
You like to hang out with them. I love it. That's where the connection takes place. I love that too.
Absolutely.
And one would not assume this because you don't showcase, right? No,
Yeah.
I'm not saying people who put
No,
I put my kids on there, and you actually take photos of families.
Yeah.
And you can tell you love kids, right?
Yeah.
So it's not about showcasing in a negative way, but you have made a conscious decision to like, separate your account
just
with
give them privacy.
give them the privacy.
Totally.
And so, but one would assume because you don't display it,
Mhm.
that maybe it's not as connected, but it
Yeah.
is, and you can see that the light shines in your eyes when you talk about them.
Thank
It's a beautiful thing.
you.
I wish I could take a picture, but
I
I can't take a picture of Nina Sinclair. Like that would just be embarrassing. What am I talking about?
You do a great
You
job.
can just take a selfie. I love that so much. So how do you establish these boundaries? Okay, so we're crossing over from work and play, work and family, and you're not just coming from an outside place 9 to 5.
Yeah.
You're not, or are you? Like, did you make time restrictions for yourself? Any boundaries? Like, how do you make it work so that home doesn't cross over, or does it?
Yeah.
Or not home, but business crossing over into your home.
Yeah, into personal life.
Yeah.
I mean, I've tried it all. Like as you said, like I am as neurospicy as they come. Like my brain is ADHD to the full. So I've tried everything from time blocking to setting hours, but I've really realized that when it comes to my brain, I sometimes just have to flow. When the creative spark hits, then I have to run with it. When I have like the energy and the ability to focus, and I have to kind of use that when it comes.
Yep.
I do find like after I drop the girls off at school, like that morning time, my brain seems to be like the best.
Oh, good. Okay, you found that sweet spot for yourself.
Yeah, it used to be a night owl thing before I had kids, but then I quickly realized that I can't do that anymore.
Oh,
So,
really? Okay, I'm very interested to know, when do you shut the lights off? Do you have boundaries for yourself? Like, okay, I'm gonna
Yeah, and I had to learn the hard way. Like that whole talk about nervous system burnout was a far too familiar friend for a long time. I used to like stay up till 2, 3 in the morning and edit. Like after I did the mom thing for the whole day. And then I would stay up late, and then I'd wake up again at like 6 or 7 a.m. and do it all over again. And then my body just finally was like, enough is enough. And half my face went paralyzed 3 times, and that was like the major burnout where I was like, okay, like I
Are
have
you
to.
kidding me?
No, yeah, it was too much. My whole body just like shut down. Yeah, it was crazy.
I am reacting this way
Yeah.
because I have abused my sleep and my body a lot too. Because
Yeah.
one thing that people may not understand with photography and video making and creating content and all that stuff, editing takes so much
So much
time.
time, and the screen does damage.
It does damage too.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I cannot believe that you experience but in a way it was a blessing because it was kind of like, okay,
I
this is
had
a
to
reality
learn
check.
it was
It
like
was
a
hard.
lesson that I had to learn the hard way. I was
So
like,
sorry.
it's okay. I mean, that's part of life, right? I mean, that's how we learn. And like sometimes, I mean, I was stubborn. Like I way overworked myself for a long time, just like, kind of trying to do it all. And then the ego takes a back burner and you're like, oh, I'm not supposed to do it all. I was never supposed to like, be everything all at once.
Is that when the village kind of popped up? You're like,
Yeah.
I have to start asking for help.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was a good lesson. It was one of those things where it's inevitable. Like you have to learn to grow, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a good
I,
one to learn.
I love that you immediately responded to that for the sake of yourself and your daughters and your like your business too. Like you love what you do, so you want to be here for it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you made the conscious, I gotta rest so I can be the best person I can be.
Yeah,
Easy concept, right? But it's not
Yeah.
easy for some of us creatives.
it's true. But I don't want to be, at the end of the day, I don't want to be half a mom to my children, right? I don't want to be like
Exactly.
a shell and only give them like the crumbs that are left of me. Like if I had to, not that I would ever want to choose, but like they'll always be my priority over everything. So if chasing my dream isn't being a positive influence to show them like what you can achieve, but rather showing them like a tired, burnt out mom, then it's not worth it, right?
Yeah. Did you ever get to a point where you felt like you were
Oh,
shell of
yeah,
yourself? And was that time
totally.
when you're talking about burnout?
Yeah, it's
Wow.
yeah, I mean like a lot of businesses during COVID experienced like some pretty
Oh yeah.
intense. Yeah, I woke up one day and lost like 2 whole years worth of weddings because I specialize in weddings and hit the
Yeah.
ground running, and then I was like, "Oh, wow, I can only do so much." And we
Gosh.
survived,
How
but
did you pivot? Like, what
um
did you do in that span of year for your creative, for your business, for the money, for like, I mean, what were you able to
yeah,
do? You have so much skill, but
thank you.
like you had to
That's
stop
sweet.
what you like the
Yeah.
actual photo taking, or what did you do?
I think like the best thing that I've ever learned in business is to be fluid.
Okay.
I specialized solely in weddings during that time.
Yeah.
And I just pivoted to like families, and that's when I started to open the doors to other sessions, not just weddings. And it honestly was again
Okay.
another beautiful silver lining because it all fills my cup in different ways.
That's so funny you said that, because with your family photos, I've seen your work in Instagram. I actually thought
Yeah.
this is what you do. I didn't even know
Yeah.
that the weddings, because I think I came across your I came across your account
Mm-hmm.
uh around the pandemic time. That's when
Yeah.
my scrolling increased.
Absolutely.
So you must have just felt so fulfilled, because it's kind of marrying your life like to your art
Yeah,
and your love for kids.
it was a really good addition. It was something that I didn't know that I needed to explore more. I mean, I love shooting weddings. I'm a hopeless romantic. I love love. But when it comes to families, like that whole sensory dynamic really came into play with shooting families, and it allowed me to create like a space for families to unravel and create like a sensory aware environment for kids, that there was no like pressure, that we could just like play and create natural connection. And
Mm.
also a space for other parents who are like spicy families who felt, seen and heard, and their kids could just be them. So it
I
was really
love
rewarding.
that.
Yeah.
It's so inclusive to have a service as simple as in what I mean by simple is like as basic as the need for photography. Like
Yeah,
everybody wants
absolutely.
photos.
Yeah,
But
memories.
how often will you find a photographer who has this passion for, making a safe space for families and kids,
Aw.
especially neurospicy? I have a daughter who struggles,
Yeah.
and I spent years and years just wondering, like, maybe we shouldn't, like, we would cut opportunities out, like photo sessions and
Absolutely.
stuff. But
Yeah.
to know, like, that just gets me in a place here,
Aw.
that you are prioritizing,
Yeah.
making accommodations for
Ooh, you're gonna make me
families.
cry. No, but it's true, right?
Yeah.
Because like I feel like as parents, like all we want is for our kids to feel seen and heard, and to like take the pressure off,
Yeah.
right? Like for them to just be able to be themselves
Yeah.
and not have
100%.
to worry about them masking or performing or like feeling dysregulated because they feel pressure, right? So like, and we want those memories too, and we want them to be genuine. We want them to be them, and in order for them to show up wholeheartedly as themselves, they have to feel,
Safe.
safe, yeah, and welcomed and invited, and no pressure, right?
So this is how you run your family and your business. Like this idea of like just let
Yeah.
them be free. Would you consider yourself kind of a free range parent? I know connective or
Yeah.
connected, but like free range in the sense of that it's child led. Do you let them just
Yeah, I would say definitely like the what's the term for it? Like gentle parenting.
gentle
That's
parenting and
us for sure. And
yeah.
very like nervous system forward. Like
Well,
my husband's a firefighter too, so like we had to be nervous system aware with like his
yeah,
career as well, and
totally.
it just all kind of goes hand in hand,
It
right? So
does.
yeah.
And then that's really wonderful. You married a hero too. Come on, we got a hero
Yeah,
here too.
lucky.
I love it. So then now you also have the idea of play. I think playing with them is also really important for you as well. Like you connect in that way.
Yeah, I mean, we always wish we could play more. Like I have two dreams. I'm like, the one dream of me for motherhood would be to like homeschool and have like a homestead, like grow our own garden and like fresh food and just play with my kids in the forest and by the ocean all day. Like that's the goal, right?
Actually, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense because you do love nature. We had
the crunchy side.
the crunchy. There's a word for that too. There's a, and I know it's not about the labels, but it is.
Totally,
It's kind of like certain communities, right? That could really resonate. And it's funny how you see that as the dream. I see that as like an unreachable
It
entity.
seems that way, totally.
Yeah, like I don't
Even
know
for
how to.
me, totally. Yeah, I'm like, and then I don't even know how I could balance that lifestyle and like the professional. Like to me, it's like, I don't know about you, but like the neurospicy brain is like dive all in, like go hard or go home. So it's like
You would focus. You probably set that business up. You would set that farm up, or your homestead. You set it up, and then
Little
someone would
flowers.
call, and you'd be like, "Well, I love that though," and I think that could actually very much happen because you really are in this path where you're like nurturing both.
Oh, thank you.
Right? You're like, you really
That's
just
the goal, right? Try
that's
to
the
merge
goal.
the two realities, right? So
That's not easy to do, and
it's not.
I love that you're able to do this. And I think one of the things that really resonated with me was a quote. If you don't mind, can I read a quote that it was something that really touched me, that ties your personal, and your family and your creative life together. And that's always me trying. That's my job. I always say, like, I was put on this earth to, be these people's mom. Like we are meant to be. We are so right for each other. But at the same time, I was also like, is there a way I can marry it with this thing that like I have to scratch this creative itch? I do.
Yes.
It's like in my brain.
Totally.
And how do I make it work together? And so when I read your quote, I'm like, oh, that's how you do it. So this is what I love. You said, I want, and I quote, I even have it in italics.
Ooh, I love that. It's a real quote.
Yeah, it's italicized. Okay.
Ooh.
I want to teach my daughters the sky is the limit.
Aw.
To chase their dreams and do what sets their souls on fire. Being a mother is by far the most important thing in my life. However, I want to show my daughters they can do anything.
Yeah.
The best way to inspire them is to show them firsthand just what they are capable of.
Oh, I knew you were gonna make me cry.
Mm.
No, it's true though. I mean, like at the end of the day, like I just want them to do the things that make them happy, right? So if I can show them that, then like that's a job well done for me.
100%. And you model it every single day.
Aw, you're so sweet.
You're modeling it every single day, and I have so much mom guilt because I'm on my computer and I'm doing this.
Totally.
I'm
I do
preparing
too.
for this, so like we've got that
Yeah.
mom guilt. But like to give ourselves grace and say, hey, actually, we're teaching them something.
Yeah, that's just it, right? It's
My-
not just nothing. It's they see the grind and
They see the
it.
grind,
Yeah.
and then so they see the hard work, but then it's going
Absolutely.
towards something that's just so important.
Yeah,
to
and they see
you.
the passion behind it. Like
Yeah.
that's the thing is like I'm like if I could choose between having a 9 to 5 or I shut it off. I mean, both are great, and at the end of the day, we're all just trying to do our best. And if a 9 to 5 is what works for you, that's
Yeah.
amazing. Like good for you
Exactly.
for finding that, right? But for me and like what I feel really like hits home for us is like my kids get to see the builds. They get to see like the highs and the lows. They get to see like me be so excited and come home from a shoot just like buzzing and just like
I know that
you
buzz. I
know,
love that buzz.
right?
I'm gonna be coming home buzzing tonight.
Yeah.
But they better be in bed.
They can see
Yeah.
it tomorrow.
Yeah, let's see me tomorrow buzzing.
Yeah.
I love that. So so they do see the reality of it.
They do. Yeah, they really do. And like they have come to shoots with me for like magazines and stuff like that. They were pretty little, but like the dream is, I mean, we got to see kiddo here help set up and I'm like,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Yeah,
like
I
I
love
want that for my kids too, right?
Yeah, and that would be easy for you to do because you keep
Yeah.
your office home.
Close to home.
Close to home.
Yeah. Our
that.
studio is on our property, so that's pretty nice. And then they can come kind of check it out. But
Yeah, I love that.
yeah.
I also think it's just wonderful too because you're already homeschooling in a way too because you're showing them
Aw.
entrepreneurship, you're showing them balance, you're showing them and what is balance really? We all know
Yeah.
that there's no such especially with an ADHD
It's a
brain. We don't know.
myth.
It's a myth. It doesn't
What
exist.
is that? I don't know.
Somewhat of a balance. I think it's really important to be able to show our kids that there's more to life than the these titles, like, and those are
Totally.
wonderful, very important titles.
Yes, absolutely.
That we grew up with, like this is, but to be able to show, okay, so I'm so curious. Did you grow up having art as part of your repertoire all your life, like as a child? Like, did you
Yeah.
always? Oh, okay, so you were exposed to
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, I mean, my grandma, she used to paint, and she makes incredible quilts. She's so talented, like
Oh,
really, really incredible. And then my mom is just like art in itself. It sounds so silly, but like I remember just like driving in the car and listening to her sing, and just like she could create anything out of anything. Like I remember she'd take me to like we'd go, and we used to have a dirt bike when we were kids, and so we'd go yeah.
I
We
like
used to
that.
ride the dirt bike, and when
Yeah.
my brothers, when it was their turn, she would bring like paper and a glue stick, and that's it. And she would tell me, make a picture out of what you find. And so I'd have to get like little leaves and like sticks and things like that and glue them onto the paper. And she was just like really creative and keeping me, entertained. So
So
yeah.
it did start in your early years. It was
Yeah.
nurtured.
Yeah, I definitely inherited it from them.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
So academia, like as in like your everyday your 9 to 5, so that wasn't something you explored at all. You just went straight into this
Yeah.
world.
I started my business when I was 18, so I didn't really know anything other than that. Like, I mean, I waitress for a while, and I loved it. Like, I really love interacting with people,
Yeah.
but
That's good client practice for sure.
oh, absolutely.
100%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But I mean, as far as that goes, yeah, I've never really known anything but this because it's been so long. So yeah.
Well, I want to talk about this because I always like a good manifestation story. So I also loved. Can you tell I'm a stalker? I was just like Nina, 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 Nina,
You
and
do your
like,
homework. That's not
let's call it
stalking.
that.
That's
Okay,
your
yeah.
job.
Well, also in truth, it was kind of like the timing of trying to like get in touch with you.
Totally.
Yeah. So and
Yeah.
you did the most amazing thing, and I'm totally gonna do this with my family. But you
Aw.
went to or was it California or Disneyland?
No, we went to Orlando.
Orlando.
Yeah, Disney World.
Disney
Yeah.
World.
Actually, it's funny you
yeah.
were mentioning the entrepreneur spirit. We had the girls host their first art show to raise money for like pocket money for Disney so that
No
they could like
way.
yeah, so that they could
That's so cute.
yeah, like learn how the process of like how hard it is to make money and then make
Yeah.
their own money and then be able to like spend their own money and they made like these little polymer clay figurines and they had people show up and like support their art and
Kidding.
I'm not and it was
Adorable.
so great because so many people showed up like
Oh my
full
gosh.
force and just like celebrated
What?
them. It was really cool.
Oh,
Yeah,
I love that.
yeah. And they're so talented. I was like, oh my gosh, like you guys, some of the little things, like little dragons and like moons with crystals and little pizzas. And I was like, this is crazy.
That is so cute. And
Yeah.
you're like, I have no idea where that is from.
I mean,
Yeah, like these kids,
they come about it honestly.
you're like, I have nothing to do with this. I love
It's all them.
that. That's
Yeah.
wonderful. But that's again that modeling, right? There's like to
Aw.
see if you ever have moments where you're like, am I doing the right thing because I'm so busy and I'm this and that? And then I look at my kids, I'm like, they're absorbing, they're watching you. They're watching you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
no, this is more for me. I'm just taking it. I'm putting it in my pocket
well,
because
same. Like the things that you were sharing, I'm
I
like,
wanna
girl,
learn.
You do a lot. Like
I want to
you're-
learn. I want to learn to give myself grace and to be okay with wanting to be,
Yeah.
an entrepreneur in like because there's times where you want to throw in the towel. I don't know
Totally.
about you. Do you?
It's a journey,
Yeah.
always. Yeah, there's like
This is
there's
too
moments
much.
where you're like, this is crazy. What am I doing?
Mm.
And then there are moments where you're like, I'm on top of the world. Like this is everything I've ever dreamed of. Like I remember sitting and being like, I wish to have a family one day. I wish to like be doing this full time. And yeah, it's the ups and downs of
Ups and downs,
Yeah.
ebbs and flows.
absolutely. Yeah.
And but to be able to encapsulate it into that moment of them selling their stuff, they have to tell me, did they value the money after that so much that when they went to Disney World, were they like, I'm not going to spend it. That was a lot. That took a lot of work for that, that little
thought
pizza I
that's
made.
how it was gonna go.
Oh, it wasn't?
It was a bit of both, actually.
that's
I was
funny.
pretty proud of them because they were very conscious. My one daughter, she loves dragons. Loves. She has a bearded dragon. She just like loves lizards and all the things.
You have to tell me what the bearded dragon's name is?
Tiger.
Tiger, the bearded dragon.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
He's pretty cool. I really
awesome.
like him.
Oh, I love that.
But yeah, so I think she went in and out of that gift shop. I don't know how many times, just trying to decide if she was going to get this or that. And she really put a lot of thought into it. And then my other daughter, she ended up buying keychains for all of her friends as like her first things that she bought. So like they definitely did put a lot of thought and care into it.
They
They did also come home with suitcases full of stuffies.
Of course. Disney
Right?
World.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, let them be kids.
Let 'em be kids.
Yeah, but it was pretty funny.
But at least you know it's like it was their money. Like, you know what I mean? That's too funny.
Me. I was like, we can't say no. Like, you guys earned this. And I was like, I want them to have that moment where it's like theirs, you know, like not ours, but like they earned it. They get to spend it how they choose. We can't say no. That just that freedom and that independence, right?
There's so much learning. This is rich learning. This is like already homeschooling. What are you talking about? You want to homeschool?
We're just trying our best.
Oh, you're doing it, girl. You're doing it. Well, we just ended our homeschool journey, and
you're doing it.
I was so hung up on like, okay, now you're gonna sit down on a desk, and here's a table.
Well, that's what we're taught, right? That's what we think like education is, and then we start to like travel, and we realize that there's so many different rich forms of learning, just life, right?
Yeah. And I think those are the most powerful gifts that we can give our kids is opportunities to emulate the things that are important for us. I wish I had this kind of like, my parents, they were amazing and they did the best they could.
For sure.
But they were really busy hustling at work, and I couldn't see them, and often, I mean, I'm not a full latchkey kid, but like I'm in the generation where we really had to raise ourselves a lot of times, and then when we're together, we spent it eating and being together with our relatives and cousins and stuff. So it was very family based, but I always thought this is how it looks like.
Yeah.
And then I have this mom guilt that I am not like, I don't love cooking. Let's just keep it
I hate it. I mean, let's be real. Like, again, we're talking about ADHD brains. Like, I can't make multiple dishes without burning one.
Oh my gosh, that's what I do.
Yeah, it's hit or miss.
Yeah,
it's like either I'll have like the music playing and dancing and like really loving it and like chopping up all the fresh herbs and it's great, or I'm like, I despise this. I hate it so much.
What did I get myself into?
And usually it's the second.
I love that you are my people.
Yeah. We can hate cooking together.
Yeah, we can hate cooking together and not feel guilty about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right?
And I think that's part of it. Like when we think of modern motherhood and like this kind of life, it doesn't shock me that because you are carrying so much of a load, career-wise, and then wanting, like actually having the desire to be a connected mom, being able to do, I mean, how do you have room to like be Betty Crocker? Like how do you have room to be like,
pick your sacrifices.
Choose your battles. And I'm glad you chose yours. Like we can just burn our food together. It's all, or you can order out.
Yeah. I mean, skip the dishes is not my friend.
It's not. Oh, it is your friend.
Yeah, it is my friend, but
too much your friend.
Yeah.
Bad influence.
Yeah. Luckily though, like my hubby's pretty awesome. He's definitely a lot of help around his OCD is my friend when it comes to stuff like that. And
exactly.
Then he
good
also
balance.
likes to cook and stuff. So
yeah, I think that's a good balance. I think it's really important to be able to see that too. Because they say like-minded, like people attract each other from the same kind of team. So like I think that's why we're like, you're my people.
Totally.
But I think we'd be terrible married because we'd be just like, we'd
be burning food left and right.
And we'd be coming up with these ideas and we'd never finish our thoughts.
Absolutely, yeah. And then we'd be talking all these deep conversations, just a puddle on the floor.
We'd just be crying all the time.
Doom piles everywhere.
Oh my gosh, the doom piles. This is too much.
Yeah.
And our poor kids, they'd be like, are we going to eat now?
Yeah, pizza. Sorry. I love you.
I love it. But they'd be really good entrepreneurs.
They'd be great. They'd be artists. I mean, that's what I mean. There's the other half of that dream where I'm like, I wish I could make like home cooked meals every night, like from scratch. And like I admire that.
I do too. Yeah. But I mean, that's the beauty of like, and let me ask you, so like some tools, because this is also part of the question here is what are some of the tools that make things work? And I actually had a friend who kind of like just didn't understand the beauty of Instacart, didn't understand the beauty of using and
groceries.
Yeah, and they were talking about another situation, and it came from a place of like not really getting that, like just go to the store. And in my, of course, my RSD, my rejection sensitive dysphoria. I'm like,
Oh,
don't
I know
tell
all
friend
about
about
that.
Instacart that I do it.
Yes.
I think those are the remedies to a very packed day. Sometimes if you can just
Absolutely.
order online, pick up,
Yes.
at the curbside. That's what these things are for. That's part of the
100%.
modern motherhood.
Yeah, those are like the tools in your tool. But the amount of times that I've ordered birthday presents before birthday parties as I'm getting my kids ready and doing their hair and
Yeah.
and then the birthday present shows up at the door and I'm like, thank God for
God.
Uber Eats, like save my
Thank
day.
God.
Because it just
Yeah.
like saves us all so much dysregulation too. Like the
Come on.
panic of rushing through the Walmart. Like I wish
Ugh.
that I was like a week before prep mom, like we'll go get the present, but like that's not me. I don't think about it till like the day before. And sometimes if I can, but I honestly get so overwhelmed grocery shopping. I end up buying so many things I don't need.
Me too.
I'm like, oh, this looks fun, and then I've got a cart full of not necessities.
Oh, I'm the mom that has the carts of like
Yes.
this big gigantic hill.
I'm not allowed to go to Costco by myself because there's too many fun things.
Me neither. Oh, I love that we're restricted equally.
Yeah.
I love it.
We could go on a Costco day.
Yeah, we'll go into Costco. That's the thing with Costco, though. We have to go, but they do have the it's okay. So let me tell you my little secret. So this is a locally reflective show, so I can talk about this is what I do. I Instacart Costco. I look at the price of like doing the whole like the driver fee and all that. That to me is my piece. Like I'm saving my space. The finding the
Yes.
parking, that like having to navigate.
Absolutely.
Okay, so there's my
Gas to get there.
Instacart. Yeah, but then
Yeah.
when you go to Superstore, you go to Walmart, you go to other places where you can order online, just pick up the curbside. These are my little like.
I like that. Yeah,
I don't
I've
really
heard
have a
Walmart's got
village.
a membership.
I don't have a village yet. I do have a
I'll be your
wonderful village, but I have a wonderful village. I just they're not going to do my grocery shopping.
Oh,
They're
yeah,
not going to do my admin work. They're not going to do my social media. Like I have to. So my
I don't
time.
have a personal grocery shopper either.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I'm pretending.
I
I'm
wish
like,
I did.
I'm pretending that's the thing.
That's
Is
the dream.
But because you have someone who
Yes.
can respond to your emails and
Yes.
someone who can make decisions with you and do some of the editing for you, that relieves some of the time to be able to create and do that. But if I'm doing
Yeah.
all the things, because in my head, I'm starting things. I feel like I'm just starting the dream right now. I'm so blessed to have this wonderful, platform where I can have this
You're
podcast.
doing it.
And I'm working really hard, but then humbly, I have to kind of go, well, I'm going to pick and choose. I guess I'm not going to get the freshest vegetables.
Yes.
I'm going to have to, trust my
Totally.
Instacart, AKA my personal
The
grocery shopper.
Delegation is real. Like, I remember just even bringing Sarah on for emails. I was like, would proofread every email and be like, does this like sound like it's like really on par with me and like sound like my voice and really make sure that it's like, still part of me because like communication, like just all those things. And then having, like I still do all of my editing, but I do have somebody that calls now and like we'll go from like 8,000 images and narrow it down to 1,000 just so it's like a little less overwhelming.
That's
It's
so
huge.
key.
Yeah, it saves my sanity for sure.
Yeah, that's
because
what
the workload is too much.
My husband was telling me about that. That like when he's an illustrator,
Oh, okay, amazing.
there's always someone who like there's the concept artist or the cleanup artist. Like that's a role, a person that just kind of like reads
Okay.
through the does the thing so that the
Yeah.
creator can work
Yes.
on the final product. So it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, it took me a long time to get there though. Like
Yeah.
honestly, the delegation and letting go and also like you said, like asking for help is
Yeah,
then when you do, you're like, oh, it was always meant to be like this.
like it feels good.
Yeah, it does.
It feels good to have this and
Yeah.
to entrust and to build that team
Yes,
too.
you got to find the right people for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, like it took me like literally up until a couple of years ago till we started to build a team and
So that's another like thing in your toolbox is like learning to delegate and like prioritizing, finding that
Yeah.
team and
not feeling any guilt about it because
Yeah.
I would be like, I'm supposed to do all the things. Nobody's supposed to do that many things.
no,
It's too
no.
many
And you're
things.
giving permission to like
Yeah.
our wonderful Esther who was here today. She's
Mhm.
my friend and a really dear friend. And I had told her, I kind of need a wifey today because
Yeah.
my husband usually comes
Good.
and he's the one who helps, like, but he doesn't fluff hair and he doesn't
No.
put the hairs down. No offense, George, I love
Yes.
you, but he covers all the other things, and
Yeah.
I kind of took for granted how much like how lucky I am to
Yeah.
have my husband be able to do that, but he can't
Totally.
always do that. So
Yeah.
then after I had to think about it, I'm like, who could I ask to just kind of be my support system. And when I had
Mm.
presented this to Esther, she had said yes before I even finished my sentence. But it was
Aw.
in my head, I was just like, I just need emotional support. I just don't want to do this by myself. It's
Yes.
nice to have. And it turns out like she just sewed a button on my pants. She was
Amazing.
able to, and just seconds ago, she's like fixed my hair. Like,
Yeah.
and I just think that we should be okay with asking for help.
Totally.
And we often have a hard time with that. But then once we
Yeah.
do, doesn't it feel great?
It brings us closer together. Like we're all like just humans trying to do our best. And I think that hyper independence actually like creates separation.
Does it ever?
Yeah. And like I'm not saying we need to be like codependent and be like, I need you to live. Like, but
linking arms all the
also,
time. Yeah.
yeah, but like it's nice to like bond and be like, hey, like we can lean on each other, we can help each other. It's like lifting each other up, right? Like it's that whole like as women, we can help each other achieve those goals by lifting each other up, even if it's just sewing buttons, right?
Let me introduce to you the girl, the girl's girl, the ultimate girl's girl. You've always been like, you're like this online, you're like this in person. It's true. It's just like really, we should like figuratively link arms and literally link arms and say, hey, I'm going to lift you up today.
We're supposed to be like a tribe. Like
We
we're supposed
are.
to be like, yeah, having each other's backs.
Come on now.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. And in a world where there's just this feeling of imposter syndrome and like
Yes.
I'm not good enough.
Always.
So do you ever have those moments?
Oh my gosh. Even with this interview, I was like,
She's running the show. What are we talking about? Come on, please.
It took a lot of building, like just, talking to myself in my head and being like, you can do it. And then like, of course I get here and it's like, we're just hanging out as like two friends and you make it so easy and comfortable. But like
Thank you.
the imposter syndrome is real. Like I've been telling myself we're going to create online courses for like a year now.
Yeah.
And I seem to find every reason is to be like, we're not quite ready. And then somebody will be like, what are you talking about? Like you have so much information to
You
give.
do.
And then I'm like, oh, okay. And so it's the ebb and flows, right? It's just like the mental state of just like getting yourself uncomfortable and then showing yourself you can do the hard
Yeah.
things. Like I remember I held a workshop for photographers. I think I got like 2 hours of sleep because I was so nervous. And then I did it and it was incredible. And I was like, I love this. Like,
Incredibly fulfilling. Yeah.
yeah. And it just like relit a whole other fire for like, helping other people achieve their dreams and being like that person that was in their shoes at one point. Like so it's
So you are tapping into like 18-year-old Nina. You're like, I wish I had this mentorship program, or you probably did throughout your career, of course, have people that inspired you.
Yeah, it
throughout your
was
career?
different then. Like I feel like now there's a lot more access with
Yeah.
social media and stuff. Like there's so much ability to just go after what you're wanting and so much more connection in terms of like entrepreneurs and being able to like reach out and be like, hey, like I'm just starting out. There wasn't that back then. So
Yeah.
you kind of had to really just figure it out and kind of go from there.
I love that too. Is that we're using social media for good, and this is what
Yeah.
I always want to teach my kids. It's like
Yeah.
there's kind of a they call it like the food groups of
I like that.
digital media, and like as we
Yeah.
use it to build our businesses so that we can protect our, sometimes I look at it, I do, again, I have a lot of guilt. Like in the past I shared so much more of my children. Then I
Same.
realized
I did too.
you did. And like we all did, we tried it, we dabbled,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
And
Well, that was life, right? Like motherhood was everything. We're just sharing our
we want to
lives.
just share it.
Yeah.
And then, but it gets to this point where, like, I wonder what I'm trying to do. So what I did was I crossed over into. That's why we call it Sass and Smalls. Like, as my brand is actually Sass and Smalls. And the reason why is because my life is about. I'm trying to get my sass back. Like, I'm trying to
Yeah.
get my sass back. How do I do that? But more importantly, I'm raising these smalls, and I want to. I call them my little smallies, but like one's taller than me, but whatever.
Yeah.
We're still calling her my smallie. And these smalls have inspired me to get another version of myself,
Yes.
a new Sass, right?
Absolutely.
And I think it's really important that we nurture that in front of our kids so they can see motherhood is not just about exhaustion and service,
No.
and that. Well, yes, it's service, of course,
Yeah.
and loving and all that stuff, but it's also about loving yourself too.
Yes.
And I want my kids, especially my daughter, well, both of them, but especially my
Yeah.
daughter, to know it is okay
Absolutely.
to love yourself enough to do your passion, follow your dreams, and it's going to be hard,
Yeah.
but it's going to feel so good.
Totally. Yeah.
And that ability to be able to show that to your daughters, and
Yes.
I can't wait to show this episode to my kids. I
Aww.
can't wait.
Before I forget, you're talking about the getting your sass back. Have you ever heard the get your pink back, like the flamingo term?
Yes.
Okay, when you said that,
Thank
it totally
you for
reminded
saying
me
that.
because that's exactly what it is. Like,
Tell me what you don't know of it. Tell me about this.
So flamingos are pink because of the shrimp that they eat, right?
Okay, that aspect I didn't know.
Oh,
Sorry. Okay, this is new. Okay, tell me about the shrimp.
Yeah, okay. So they get that pink glow from the type of shrimp that they eat.
Okay.
And when they have babies, they actually lose a lot of their pink. They dull their pink a bit because they end up giving a lot of the shrimp that they catch to their babies to help them thrive. So they give a lot of their glow to their babies when they're little, but then as they get older, they get their pink back.
Oh, they do get their pink back.
The mamas do get their pink back after, but they give a little bit of it for a short period of time to their babies so that their babies can thrive, and then they get it back. So when you said get my sass back, I immediately thought of that.
That's so funny. So just not too long ago, I'm a caregiver to my mom and my dad. And my mom had a really bad fall, and it was
sorry.
It comes full circle because it happened just as I was starting season 1, and that kind of it kind of catapulted my theme of burnout last year because I had to kind of let go of my expectations of being a very, very present homeschooling mom.
Yes.
And I had to let go. I literally had to walk away from my family for just a short amount of time
I'm sorry.
to help take care of my
hard.
mom. Yeah. And she hated that too. She didn't want that for herself or for us. And but what I ended up doing is I put when she recovered so quickly. It was just a miracle. I just couldn't believe it. I put a post up about I was just returning all her equipment that we rented, like so that she could, all the accommodations. We were returning it, and there was this beautiful, beautiful audio about the pink flamingo caregiver.
Oh, okay.
Or mother. They lose their pink, and then and that's why you'll notice that it didn't even finish off. Like I just got part of the meme. So this is why I didn't know about the shrimp. So I'm so glad we understand where it comes from.
Fun fact.
But yeah, fun fact, shrimp equals pink.
Yes.
So I ended up giving the shrimp. So I kind of felt, and so I wrote there, I'm like, my mom and I are both getting our pink back. Because we are now we had to go through this temporary phase of giving. Like she had to kind of surrender herself to me and allow me to physically truly participate in caring for her.
Absolutely.
And I lost my pink, and I have pictures of myself in that era where I was so burnt out.
Yeah.
It was no fault of anybody.
No.
But I had to I wish I knew back then that it was temporary.
Yes.
Because once I got to the point
When you're
of
in it feels like you're drowning, right?
Yeah, and I think that's how motherhood is in caregiving when it gets rough, especially with neurodivergence. And so I love that you brought that. That's a really nice way to put everything together, and that really is we're just constantly trying to get our pink back, but then it's somehow there's a season where we lose our pink, and then you end up kind of getting it back as you flourish. How do we flourish? And in this case, you flourish by finding where you get your pink back yourself.
Totally. I like to think that it comes
gorgeous.
back brighter.
It sure does.
Yeah, I like to think that we think we're pink before, but then after we become mothers,
we are neon pink.
100%. We really get to see all that we're capable of, and I think that kids motherhood breaks us open and lets all the light shine in the places we didn't know needed it, right? So we just continually expand, and it gets the hard is hard, but the good is so good, so worth every ounce of hard, right? So
I love hearing this. I think it's really important for us to remember that everything is temporary, and when we get through these seasons. I just went through a season. Hence the loss of voice. I'm just wanting to warn you there. I should have said that in the beginning.
You're killing it.
But so I'm going to ask you, after talking about all these wonderful things, I'm going to tell you, I went off script. Let me tell you.
Oh yeah,
I had all these questions. I'm tell me about Vogue, and tell me about this, and well, actually, before we go there, you have to tell me. Okay, so we do have to revisit this thing. So you really were a teen that looked, at this, and you're like, I want to be in Vogue or do something for Vogue, and then it just that must have felt so good, that full circle moment.
It was pretty crazy. I remember getting the email from them and saying we want to feature your business, and I was I thought it was a scam at first. I was this isn't real, and then we looked into it and we're oh no, it actually is. Yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah.
They found you?
Yeah, they sent us an email. And yeah, it was cool. So we've had 3 issues that our business was featured in. One was a photo, and then the other 2 were like business features, like small. Yeah, but
Oh,
I mean,
incredible.
just the fact, yeah, it was pretty cool. So
How was that moment to show to your girls, to your family, to be able to
it was surreal. I mean, like, I feel like it all feels surreal. Like, I remember when, like, we took home the BC Wedding Awards and, like, walking across the stage. And, like, the whole time, like, I walked across the stage, I was, like, going like this. And then afterwards, I don't even remember what I said. And, like, afterwards, I left. And I don't know if you do this, like, as a, like, again, neurodivergent person, but, like, you're always like, oh, okay, well, like, what's the next thing? Like,
Yeah.
what? And then you're, like, forget to celebrate. And so, like, I'm really trying to make a conscious effort of celebrating
These moments.
the moments, right?
Oh, I
And
love
trying
that.
to
Yeah.
like, yeah, be like, I once dreamed of this. Like, let's not just rush past it and
Yeah.
like move on to the next goal. Like, let's
Well,
sit with it.
it's crazy because you were very specific too, like having these Vogue magazines, like
Yeah, the
and while you kept
fashion.
looking at it, and then they
Yeah.
found you. That's incredible.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Yeah, it was definitely one of those moments where you're like, whoa, this is what I used to dream
This is
of.
full circle.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's incredible. So now I'm wondering if this is even a question I should ask at this point, but kind of answer that there. But if you were to bottle up a very, very important like thought, uh, emotion, sentiment, or moment
Mhm.
that sums up motherhood for you, what would that be?
Oh.
Loaded question.
Yeah, it's hard because like motherhood for me is all of the little moments like combined. Like I don't think that there's like one moment that I could just pick because it's all every single little moment has like shaped who I am as a mom, right? Like just like becoming a mom. I can't even talk about it without crying because it's like the best thing that ever happened to me. But yeah, like I don't think I could sum it up because
It's like ask, oh my God, this is how dare I ask you?
I
I
know,
love
but
that
yeah,
so
like
much.
it's truly the best thing I ever did with my life. Like I don't think that there's any other purpose that I could have on this earth that would even come close, right? So
The love,
yeah.
and you can see it because you really you chose to find a way to bring your children into the heart of your business. That's
Aw.
good. That's probably why your business is fulfilling you because there's really no separation if you think about it, right? Like if
Yeah.
you know your why so clear. So I love
Aw.
that. I love that you just rejected my question for one moment. You came up with millions of moments. I love it so much. I think that's important. You can have tons and tons of moments, put it all into one moment, and that's just I just had my cousin here, and we were talking about like what's a moment, and I asked her like a moment, and then she said
Yeah.
it's not a moment, it's a feeling, and she said
Oh, I
gratitude.
love
So it really is
that.
gratitude.
That's
I feel like that
perfect.
goes
You
for
said
you
it
as well. Yeah,
well.
it's
Yeah,
gratitude.
absolutely.
Um,
Not a moment, but a feeling. I
but a
like
feeling, an
that.
emotion, and like I see the gratitude
Yeah.
in your eyes. Like you're just
Oh.
like, there's nothing more fulfilling for me than to.
Yeah, no, it's the coolest thing ever. Like,
Huh.
as far as I'm concerned, I'm like the luckiest person in the world to be
Oh,
their
I
mom. Like,
love
they're
that.
pretty awesome. So,
Oh my
yeah.
gosh, I love that so much. And that's why we're doing the show. All right, so now we're going to do one last thing. It's called the fast round.
Okay.
Spill the sass because you're going to
Okay.
tell us
I'm get
nice and
ready.
fast, quick answer, first thing that comes to mind.
Okay.
All right, are you
deal.
ready? Have we wiped our tears? Are we
Yeah,
good?
I think so.
Okay. You got me there, girl. You got me there.
I'm
Okay.
sorry.
All right, are you ready?
Yes.
One word. You already said this, but we'll say it again. One word to describe your parenting style right now.
Connected.
Connected. A creative parenting hack that saves your sanity.
Ooh, I would have to say the little activity bags that I put together. It's so random, but like we have like little sensory bags with
So
like
do
fun
we.
activities. Yeah,
You
right?
created it though.
Yeah, you just like you make little like bins and things like that you just pull out and like yeah.
You're my people.
I
I'm telling you.
love it.
You're my
We're
people.
gonna be best friends.
I love this. I love this. Okay. One thing you're okay to let go of as a parent.
Control.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that was like I could dive into that, but
Oh,
I
that's
know
a
it's
whole
supposed to be
other
passed
podcast
down, but
episode. Oh my gosh.
control, yeah, connection
Control.
over control for
And I think there's
sure.
a lot. That's a contrast. I feel you too.
Yeah,
Oh, there's
yeah.
lots of control, even just within myself.
Yeah, oh, totally. Yeah, there's the safety thing, right? We want to control everything, right? But like the more that we try to control, the less room there is for connection.
Oh gosh.
There's helping guide them is, I feel like, a much better approach. But I mean, yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so letting go of control. Okay.
Mhm.
The island is the next question. We're going to talk about you're on an island
Mhm.
and a non-Victoria island.
Okay.
Okay. Scenario
Mhm.
with your hubby, your
Mhm.
kids, and let's throw some village in there, okay? You got some Sarah, you got some Taylor, you got some Rowena, you got your friends, you got Beck. Is it Becky? Bex. Yeah, we gotta meet Bex. Very excited. You got all your team players there. Island's beautiful,
Mhm.
picturesque, actually. You can only bring one thing. Okay.
Ooh.
Do you bring in your go-to bag your most cherished and high-tech camera with the highest quality lens, or something else that would be more enjoyed by the majority?
Probably definitely not my camera. And that
Not
sounds
your
crazy.
camera.
Yeah, if I was going to an island.
And the show here. Stop it.
I love what I do. I
Okay.
really, really do. But yeah, if I had an island where I was surviving in other ways, it definitely would be, yeah, I don't think a camera would be my first pick, just simply because, well, there's like the approach of like, okay, are we stranded? I need to know.
You're kind of stressed.
The logical part of my brain, I'm
Okay,
like,
let's
I
go
have
back to the
questions.
previous question about
Okay,
letting go of
we'll
control.
start again. I'm like, wait, I need to know.
Okay, we got to tell details.
Okay.
Okay, you're stranded. You're stranded.
Yeah,
You are kind of stranded, but in a good way. It's picturesque. It's pretty.
Amazing.
You're stranded on a pretty island.
I love it. Yeah, no, I wouldn't bring my camera.
Oh my gosh.
I
I'm
wouldn't.
trying to push you to bring your camera because
I
I'm like, it's
know.
pretty.
I know,
Okay.
but that's not gonna help me survive.
Well, you're stranded. There is food available.
Okay.
Okay, let's just say there's food available. You're able to do it, but would you get something that you know that you can capture these memories with photos, or something
when you
that
say it like
or that your family can enjoy, that it's not just the click of a button that you get to touch, it's
Yeah.
something that they all can
I would
enjoy.
definitely pick something for my family.
Aw.
Yeah, no, like I said, I love what I do, and like the whole memory aspect is amazing. But yeah, I feel like if I'm stuck on an island with the people I love, I want to be present and hang out with them and do fun things.
This is an easy question. What am I thinking? You love nature.
Yeah. I know. That's why I was like trying to
This is-
say, I'm like, I'm not going to bring my camera. And I'm like, that sounds like I hate my job. I really love my job. But if I'm like on an island,
on an
that's the
island.
last thing I'm bringing.
I should have put you in another place. Why did I think of an
I'm like,
island?
I just want to like probably paddleboard.
Yeah.
Like that would probably be what I bring.
Yeah, that wasn't the best question.
No,
I
it's
should have
all
like,
good.
you're like, make it harder.
I
Okay.
was like trying to think of how I was gonna word that. I was like, I'm not bringing my camera. I was like, oh wait, that sounds like I hate my camera. I love my camera, but I also really love the islands.
Well, the
and
beautiful thing
nature
is you can
and-
take the snapshot in your
totally,
brain.
yeah.
And we
Practicing
forget
being
that.
present, right?
Yeah,
is
just being
hard,
present.
yeah.
That's part of the connective. So I just want to say thank you so much. You know, Nina, like, you really are a force. You're someone I really admire you. But
Thank you.
you are loved by many.
People.
You are loved by many in our
Aw.
community. And, you know, it wasn't very easy to logistically make this time for us to be together. And you made it happen. And I'm really grateful because I think it's really important that the creatives, like we're surrounded by creatives all over this island, to let them see that it is possible to achieve, you know, and to achieve those goals, those personal goals, while still, you know, loving your role as a mom. And
Mm.
I love that you are able to share actual facts about this
Aw.
and the real, you know, evolution of it. It wasn't always like this. It wasn't that easy. And you made choices to shift, to, you know,
Yeah.
to make the shift and to pivot. And so I'm very, very, very grateful to you. Let me ask you a question though. Do you have any last words of wisdom for someone who, you know, is trying to be like, who has it in them to be creative, wants to make it work, but they're just like, I don't know. I feel like I have to decide between two worlds. Do you have any wisdom, like last words of wisdom that you can share?
Ooh. I would just say take the step. Like, it doesn't even
Take
have
that
to be a
step.
plunge. Like, just start with like one step at a time. Like, we all start somewhere. Like, when I first started, I had a point and shoot camera, right? And if your heart loves it, like, follow that. Like, listen to that voice, right?
Listen to the voice.
Yeah.
That's a good way to.
Intuition's there for a reason. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and it doesn't, and that intuition doesn't need to, be kind of muted because you
No.
become a mom.
Totally. Yeah. And
Yeah.
sometimes it whispers and sometimes it's loud. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, like, if it's something that you love and something that you want to do, like, it will fall into place and you'll find a way to make it work. And it doesn't all have to happen at once. But if you just take the first step, and you deserve to do something that brings you joy.
So this is where the let it flow comes
yeah.
into play. I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that so much. Where can our viewers and listeners find you, Miss Nina?
Ooh, Instagram's always a great place. Yeah, I find a lot of people find us through there.
And can you tell us what that handle is?
Oh, if I can remember it off the top of my head. So the name is Of Ocean and Earth Photography, but I think our handle is of ocean and earth photo. It's really long.
I love you. You're my people. This is too funny. You're so funny.
Like, da-da.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love you so much. It's too funny. I love it so much. I am so grateful to you for coming.
Thank you for
so
having
late.
me.
I'm very
honored.
grateful.
This was awesome.
Yeah.
You make it easy, and
Thank
you definitely are in your zone of genius. Like, you can tell that this is where you're supposed to go, because you have a way of making people feel comfortable and yeah, just creating great conversation.
Great. I just surrendered all my Kleenex to Nina.
I'm sorry. I can't give it back. But yeah, it was great. It was great to get to know you. And
I'm
thank
glad
you
you
for
did
having
something. You did the hard thing. So thank you for that. That's very
Yeah.
inspiring, and I'm so grateful.
me.
I'm grateful. Thank you. And for all you creative souls out there, that need to find your creative footing in this world while, maintaining your wonderful, beautiful, rewarding role of parenthood. It's a gift to take that step.
Mhm.
It really is a gift. So, open that gift, right? Open that gift. You never know what you'll find. Really, we do see you. We hear you. We are here to encourage other creative moms to listen to that intuition. With that said, thank you for joining us here on Sass and Small Talk, because it takes a village to raise a child and a community to raise their parent. We'll see you on the next episode of Sass and Small Talk. Bye. Get out of my house. I love you.
I love you too. That was awesome. Oh, I could cry. Whoa, that was great.
I need to do hard things.
You made it easier. Oh my gosh.
I need my sass back.
Signing off. See ya, guys. Bye. Signing off. See ya. Bye.